computer technology has been moving in a way that nothing else people have ever known.
Greetings, Special Centurions, and welcome, YouTube Warriors, back to the succession of changing kings. Game player, welcome to the stream, mate, right at the start. Surprise! How you doing? Hope all is well with you. Thanks for joining. So, in the last episode of the series, we were able to make it finally further than we ever had done and survive for a lot longer than we had previously, to the point where we're actually able to continue in this game rather than rather than having to start a brand new game. So we're going to be diving in and carrying on with the playthrough and seeing if we can get to the end of Act 1. Eating flan and cooking, nice. Sounds like a good time. Sounds like a good time. So on day 32, turn 8, we've got a good amount of defense. We've only lost 0.5 health. We've got a good amount of initiative with a lot coming in. And yeah, for those keeping track at home and are curious, at the moment our standing with the commoners is +4, our standing with the army is +2, our standing with the aristocracy is 0, and our standing with the church is +1. So that's pretty good as well, to be honest. That being said, though, we now have a whole load of difficult decisions ahead of us. Difficult because we haven't done them before, and we don't know what the outcome of them will be. We've done Yo-Ho-Ho and a bottle of rum. I think I'll do that one next, and then we'll do the Sacred Grove, because we've seen that as well. So that'll give us an idea, hopefully, and get us off to a good start. Give us an idea of what we're doing. Game player, I forgot. You forgot what? The standing that we were in? No worries. That's why I've written it down, and I'm going to keep track of it myself as we carry on this playthrough. Zachary, how's it going? So it's not 4 days per turn? I guess not. I can't remember how many days. I think it's a couple. It's like 2 or 3. Whatever 32 divided by 8 is. So, 4, yeah, it's 4 days. It must be 4 days, because 38 times 2 times 4 is 32, isn't it? 8 times 2 is 16. Times that by 2 is 32. Yeah, so it's 4 days per turn. Lance, how's it going, mate? Welcome to the stream. Thank you for joining. It's just happened to have a lot of actions. What happens to have a lot of actions? Okay, so we're going to be doing Yo-Ho-Ho and a bottle of rum first off. We're going to skip it because we know what's happened. The pirates have abducted the village leader's daughter. We can either pay the ransom, we can deploy the regular army units to deal with the pirates, or we can ignore it. I think we're going to deploy the army because we're at +2 standing with the army, and that'll stop us having to pay. On top of that, we might have to pay again in the future. If we pay the ransom now, the pirates will be like, Yahar! We can pillage and plunder to our heart's content and take prisoners for free, and then get loads of ransom every time we want. Basically, they'll be dicks in the future again. Whereas if we deploy the army to deal with the pirates, then hopefully they'll be dealt with and we won't have to worry about them in the future. Is that how it works? It seems to be, yeah. It's Friday, is indeed, Lance. Friday afternoon. Well, coming up to afternoon in England. It's coming up to 12 o'clock now. I mean, seriously, you tell me the army hates fighting pirates? Well, maybe. I don't know yet. We might find out. We might find out that they're super happy about it. They might be like, yes, I've been looking forward to this opportunity to kill these pillaging and plundering assholes. I haven't clicked it yet, so we'll find out in just a second. I was watching the first stream. How many kings have you gone through? This is probably, I think, our 6th run. At least 6th or 7th run, I think, if I remember correctly. So quite a few. And look, the first ones were all incompetent, though. They all fell down ladders and walked into trees and got ambushed by bears and things. So they deserve to die in some respects. This guy's not too stupid, so we're doing rather well. Yeah, I think we can deploy the army and see if they're happy with it. See, they'll probably be -1 to the army, but it'll save us paying the ransom, so let's do it. No, it wasn't. It was actually quite a good result.
The hastily assembled units failed to approach the pirates unnoticed and were spotted from afar. As a result, the sea rogues escaped with the captives. Their fate remains unknown.
Motherfuckers. One got smacked by a priest. We assume he was a priest, yeah. I got turned into a gibbering fool, basically. I got knocked unconscious and all my wits smacked out of me by some dickhead with a wooden stick. So yeah, that was not brilliant, but at least the standing didn't go down with the army like we thought. It cost us 1 initiative to deploy the army. We lost one standing with the commoners because obviously the captives got away and we didn't rescue them. And yeah, we also, though, because we mobilized the army and scared off the pirates, we got +1 defense, or 0.5 defense, I should say, sorry. So that wasn't too bad, not brilliant, but at least we didn't pay like 10 initiative for them to just do it again in a few turns' time. Dimitri, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. I would love to stay, but I have to work. No worries, my friends. Deeply apologies, sire. I'll definitely watch it later. Yeah, no sweat, no sweat. Have a good day at work, mate. I hope it's not too arduous for you. Getting knocked out by a priest with a big wooden stick. Caesar was not all religious or anything. Yeah, I'm not a religious person, so that's probably what it was. It was some kind of religious bullying. Become religious or make you a gibbering fool, which mostly I am most of the time anyway, so no harm, no foul, I say. It's because of the stolen artifact. Yeah, that's why we had really good standing with the church. We had like +4 with them at some point, +5 I think. But then we refused to take the artifact and it got stolen. Now the priests don't like us very much.
The Sacred Grove. In the kingdom, there are still places where ancient pre-luminous cults are observed or ancestral traditions are maintained. The church tends to turn a blind eye to such practices, considering them a minor concern. One such place is the Foothill Forest near Fort Reinhard. Recently, 2 lumber mills were opened there, sparking outrage among the local population while eliciting delight from the capital's carpenters. Wood from this part of the country is renowned for its unique property of becoming stone-like after prolonged immersion in water. The Foothill Forest is not just a thicket of trees. Its ancient trees reach skyward, their canopies casting dense, nearly impenetrable shade even on sunny days. The forest teems with life. Streams bubble through moss, birds fill the air with songs, and ancient ruins lie half buried under moss and leaves. A reminder of times long past. To the locals, this is not merely a collection of lifeless trees. It is a sacred grove, a place of power and ancient rituals. Your meeting with two fervently debating men took place in a small village at the forest's edge, as you were returning from Reinhard. The day was unseasonably bright for autumn. You guided your horse toward the...
It's too low, is it? Okay, give me a second. I think it's on max, to be honest. The music, yeah. The voice is max. I don't know why it's so low. Discord is on... Not Discord, sorry. OBS is on max. Voice is on max. The music's really low. So I can barely hear the music. And the sound's up max. Sorry, guys. You're just going to have to turn your volume up. I will... oh, the frames can go. I don't know why it's so low. What I'll do is I'll turn myself down on Discord. Keep calling it Discord. On OBS. So I'll halve my voice on OBS. How's that now? Are you able to turn your volumes up a bit so you can hear the volume and my voice isn't booming? I'll play it again now for you.
Village Square.
Play it again, Sam.
Where the elderly forester Alric and the young aristocrat Ushturin awaited you. Alric approached first. Your Majesty, he began, the foothill forest is a sacred grove. For centuries, our ancestors worshipped the ancient spirits here. Cutting down this forest is sacrilege and the death of an entire village. Standing nearby, Ituren listened with a barely perceptible smile on his lips. Tall, with long hair styled in the northern fashion, he stepped forward when Alric finished speaking. His voice was cold and persuasive. Your Majesty, the felling of this forest is a necessary step for the prosperity of our kingdom. The foothill forest is rich in resources, and the timber we harvest is vital for construction and the army. Should we cling to old superstitions at the expense of progress? If we listened to people like this forester, we would still be living in caves. A crowd of local villagers had gathered around you. Many sided with Alric, including soldiers from the local garrisons, known for their particular superstitions. Yet there were also those who supported Ituren, hoping for new jobs and improved livelihoods. The situation was tense, and you needed to make a decision.
It's all good now? Okay, thanks, Lance. I appreciate that. I'm going to cook. Mind you that I'm listening. Yeah, no sweat. Thank you for the support. Thank you for maintaining the stream even while you're busy. I got like a few minutes before after starting to get ready for work myself. I'm glad you're playing a game where I can listen into the decisions. Yeah, no worries, Lance. I'm glad we're able to sort the sound out as well because, yeah, the volume is really low in this game for some reason. So, yeah, I have to turn my voice down on OBS. Okay, so your decision. Our kingdom's greatest asset is its people. Value their opinion, noblemen. Or the forest will benefit the entire kingdom and the sawmills will provide income for the locals. Don't you dare interfere with the logging. So do we side with the noblemen? Or do we side with the commoners? I think we have to side with the noblemen because our aristocracy is 0 at the moment, whereas our commoners' opinion is +3. So don't you dare interfere with the logging is probably our best option here. I don't want to do the third option. The third option is basically washing your hands of it and telling these peasants to go away and leave you alone. So we're going to do the second option. We'll probably lose 2. My prediction is we'll lose 2 with the commoners, gain 1 with the aristocracy, and then gain some initiative, some money for doing the logging. Oh, not bad, actually.
The old man collapsed to the ground and covered his face with his hands, shaking as he cried out. He was picked up under the arms of several locals. They looked at you unpleasantly, though without open hostility. The aristocrat hurried away, thanking you briefly beforehand.
So that's not a bad net profit, to be honest. So we lost 1 standing with the commoners. We lost 0.5 health again. We gained a standing with the aristocracy. 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 We gained another 5.5 defense. We now got 6 defense. And we gained 2 initiative. So that's fine. That's not too bad. I was fun with the commerce. Because we already lost some last time. But I don't know how we stand with them. Oh well, shit, yeah. Oh, thank you for the sub. Welcome to the Special Legion, welcome. Dr. Carl, I think it was. It popped up briefly, but yeah, welcome. Thank you for the sub. It is a silly place, full of revelry and mirth. Oh well, shit, yeah, if you got a plus, then we can afford to lose some. Yeah, so we're still at +2 with the commoners. That wasn't too bad. How do I cook sausages with plastic skin? I have no idea. Why have you bought sausages with plastic skin? That's a misplay right there, my friend. Okay, let's go to the throne room. The gardener is a murderer. Ooh, new stories,
The
Jack.
gardens were the pride of Valendor, its living heart. Majestic oaks and chestnuts grew there, their leaves tinged in golden and crimson hues, gently falling to the ground to create a colorful carpet. Among the trees were rowans, heavy with clusters of bright red berries and graceful birches, whose white trunks stood in stark contrast to the autumn foliage. Late-blooming chrysanthemums, asters, and heleniums adorn the paths, adding vibrant colors and delicate fragrances to the garden's atmosphere. Access to this park was open to all at any time of day or night. The gardens were maintained by Master Gardener Garrett, a middle-aged man with sun-weathered hands and perpetually sorrowful eyes, much like those of certain breeds of dogs. This morning, however, it was revealed that even such harmless-looking men could bite. During their morning rounds, the guards discovered the lifeless body of Baron Laurel, a young nobleman who had inherited a significant family fortune last year. The Baron's throat had been slit with pruning shears.
Jeez, barbaric.
News of the Baron's death spread through the castle like wildfire. All suspicions immediately fell on Garrett. Bloodstains had been found on his clothes, and he had access to the murder weapon. Steward Adrian, Charles Holloway awkwardly tried to coordinate the castle guards, who were simultaneously tasked with keeping curious onlookers away from the crime scene and preserving evidence. "I am innocent," Garrett whispered desperately, but his words were drowned out by screams. Lady Margaret I. Laurel, the young widow of the deceased, added fuel to the fire by claiming she had seen Garrett wandering the park late at night several times during her strolls with her husband. The capital's nobility has sent a petition demanding the gardener's immediate execution in the most public and brutal manner possible.
Oh dear. In regards to the sausages, I normally just bake my sausages anyway. I know frying them's like the common thing to do, but if you whack them in the oven at like 180 degrees on some baking paper, just 25 minutes, they cook through. And you don't have to worry about like turning them all the time and one side burning while the inside doesn't cook and stuff like that. But that's just how I do them, and they usually come out pretty nice. Quarter him in the town square. Let him rot in prison. The evidence is clearly insufficient. Release him immediately. Oh, we need a detective. We need a detective to solve this. Deep frying the sausage? Yeah, that's an option. If you've got a deep fryer or an air fryer could work. Okay, so yeah, this is bad. We probably gonna rot him in prison. I don't want to quarter him because you don't know if he's innocent or not. But if we release him, the aristocracy will be pissed off, and we'll lose our what we just earned with them. But if we, it's clearly gonna be the commoners who get upset when he gets. If we quarter him in the town square, the commoners will be upset, I think, because there's not enough evidence. We're going to put him in prison. That seems like a good compromise. We can put him in prison for the moment while we try and figure out what happened. That seems to me like the legitimate move. Like, that's what prisons are for. Not just to keep people in jail forever, but to hold them in a cell until you find out the truth. Yeah, let him rot in prison. Okay, too
Your
lenient.
decision was deemed too lenient.
Option 1, says Lance.
For a life.
You bloodthirsty bastard,
Yesterday,
man.
Laurel.
You bloodthirsty
Tomorrow,
bastard.
any one of us. A week later, you were informed that the gardener had been found hanged in his cell. Whether he did it himself or had help, no one could determine.
Oh, he died anyway, but at least it wasn't a, well, it's still a pretty horrible death, but it's not like being quartered in front of people and like tortured and cut apart and stuff. Oh well. We tried to help him, we tried to save him as best we could, but unfortunately he died anyway. And we'll never know if he was innocent or guilty. No, the Countess.
Visiting the Countess.
Yes.
A light mist lingered over the sea. This type of fog is called sea smoke or steam fog. It appears most often in autumn when the air cools faster than the water, declared the ship's captain, who had spent much of the voyage searching for opportunities to speak with you. The ship docked at Cherry Isle just as the first rays of the sun broke the horizon. Today you were the guest of Countess Eleanor Vinchel. Her estate, surrounded by cherry orchards and verdant meadows, was renowned throughout the kingdom as one of the finest examples of architectural splendor. The hostess had her servants lined along the lengthy alley and welcomed you personally at the threshold of her home. You had only seen the Countess once since the beginning of your reign, but her letters, filled with advice, had arrived regularly. Most often they offered shrewd recommendations on financial and trade matters, but occasionally Lady Eleanor would share her views on the governance of the realm. A pleasant smile played upon Eleanor's lips, but her eyes were as impenetrable as ever, even for your sharp mind. "Welcome, Your Majesty," she said, performing a graceful bow. "I am delighted that you accepted my invitation. Please come inside." You followed the...
Sorry, Lance, it is literally as maxed out as I can get it. I can't get anything any louder. The voice is max, the sound is max, the music is quite quiet. I can barely hear the music, to be honest. And OBS is on max as well. I've even lowered my voice on OBS so that my voice isn't booming or too loud. If you want, I can lower my voice on OBS even more. And then you'll be able to turn the volume up on your PC or maybe get it louder somehow. See, that's too loud in my opinion. The music is too loud now. Popping oil, ow. Just don't do it naked. As long as you're not naked, it's fine. Popping oil is good, but don't do popping oil when you're naked. This new game, I mean, is going to happen. No, your voice is fine. Okay. Well, I've toned it down a bit now anyway, but yeah, hopefully that'll be a better balance. That music is too loud, man. It's too loud for me.
Countess into her manor, where an extravagant breakfast awaited you in a luxurious
Got
dining
my
hall.
solution on my end.
The servants seemed to anticipate your every desire and whim.
Like I can hear
They
you
appeared
clearly,
almost the
sometimes
instant a
depending on
thought
the
crossed your
scenario, it
mind,
sounds like the voice
bringing
gets
forth
lower on
new
the stream
dishes,
than the narrator.
glasses of wine,
Last
or
time you
fresh
turned it up, it
fruit.
seemed to get better.
More likely, however, the
I guess
entire
because,
reception
sorry,
had been meticulously planned.
I'm talking over him. I think it's because it's AI voiced, so the volume varies greatly depending on what's, because they obviously did it recording it in separate instances, so the volume on it depends on what the scenario is. But yeah, that's
In advance.
Eleanor
was famed for her vast network of spies and informants. Dozens, if not hundreds, in her employ. She likely knew everything about you, down to the color of your chamber pot. And throughout the meal, Eleanor discussed matters of the kingdom and recent events. The peculiar sect of red-hooded devotees, refugees from Torn, trade disputes, and various minor troubles. At last, when the table was cleared and you were left alone with her in her study, the Countess finally got to the point. "Your Majesty," she began, her voice lowering to a serious tone, "I have an important matter to discuss. It concerns a project that could bring considerable profit to the Treasury. Unfortunately, it cannot proceed without the involvement of Holy Father Lumiel." She uttered those last words with evident distaste and paused briefly, as though choosing her words carefully, before continuing. "You are likely aware that my relationship with the temporary head of the church is far from idyllic. We have known each other for nearly half a century before he was the Holy Father Lumiel, or even Lumiel at all. Back then, he was Tantarin, the youngest son of the once prosperous House of Erast. You managed to conceal your surprise. I would prefer to avoid dealing with that Shwarua, but for the good of the kingdom, even unpleasant cooperation becomes necessary. My proposal is this: the Holy See is exempt from tariffs for a specific tonnage of goods. Currently, the church purchases frivolities, millet for the poor and marble for constructing new temples. I propose shifting this allowance to precious metals instead. The Holy See will not find it unusual. An increasing demand for amulets and religious trinkets provides a convenient explanation. My personal interest lies only in keeping the family's jewelry workshops busy. The proceeds, gained by bypassing tariffs, could resolve numerous issues, rearming the army, constructing roads, opening hospitals and orphanages. You had little doubt that the Countess thought of orphanages as often as she did Anastonian elephants. Implementing her plan would undoubtedly harm the kingdom's poorest and earn the ire of the common Luminites. Still, the benefits were undeniable. The support of the most influential aristocrat and a significant influx of funds into your rapidly dwindling treasury.
Interesting. You don't mind not hearing them as much, but hearing me as a must. Oh, thanks, Lance. That's sweet of you. Jules, can you turn your voice up? Yeah, I can. Yeah, no problem. Turn my voice back up again. How's that now? Is that better? That should be back to where it was before. Travel, but feels like a setup. Okay, so the two options. Countess, I shall personally travel to Argendorf for a serious discussion with the Holy Father. Yeah, that could be dangerous, personal traveling. Thank you for the suggestion, but I'm satisfied with the status quo. Okay, so basically we don't have an option here. We either turn her down entirely and don't accept her deal, in which case we earn the ire of the aristocracy when we're already at 0 relations with the aristocracy, or we have to personally travel. So I don't think it'll be dangerous. The fact that it's only given you 2 options, one of which is to turn her down, the other one is to personally travel, means I don't think we'll die for doing it. But we will get the ire of the commoners, so we'll probably lose one relation with the common people. And maybe one with the church, I don't know. It depends how they... Yeah, a little bit better. Yeah, I'm trying to juggle everything, because I obviously don't want my voice to be too loud for the people who have turned it up, the volume up, so they can hear the narrator's voice. Perfect. Okay, thanks, Lance. Appreciate the sound check, buddy. Any mission that requires the king to personally perform an action is a no-go. You reckon? Gameplay. I think it's fine. I think we accept her and we personally travel, like Lance suggests, because we're already at 0 with the aristocracy. So that would be negative if we turn her down, and I don't want to go into negatives. Whereas we've got 2 points with the commoners to lose, and on top of that, this will give us income, so this will give us money, and we need money to build stuff. So let's go with the travel. Uh-oh.
Matters of days long past. You found the Holy Father Lumiel in his private chambers, a spacious yet simple stone room.
In-person stuff feels like a death wish. In this game it does, yeah.
And beside it sat a chessboard with an unusual study in progress. There was no time to examine it closely. The Holy Father looked weary. His tightly pressed lips and the faint wrinkle on his brow betrayed a poor mood. Your Majesty, he greeted briefly, not rising from his chair. What matter compels you to visit me in person? You know well enough that sending a messenger would bring me to the capital myself. You did not waste time and recounted your conversation with Countess Eleanor de Wernvinchel without embellishment. Lies could prove dangerous, as Lumiel was renowned for his ability to read his interlocutors. Even the smallest omission could spark a long and unpleasant quarrel. The Holy Father listened intently without interruption. When you finished, he closed his eyes, his hands thoughtfully steepled before him. Did the Countess not tell you how we first met? He finally said, a bitter, sardonic smile touching his lips.
I'm not liking this chat.
We have known each other most of our lives. Well, my whole life. Let me tell you a story. Once, a young noblewoman conceived a child by a member of another prominent family. She did not want the child, for the nobleman already had a son by his lawful wife. When her due date was approaching and she was about to give birth, she tried to get rid of the fetus. But something went wrong, and I was born.
Oh dear.
The Holy Father rose, his hand resting on the edge of the table, as though seeking support. My mother, our esteemed Countess, never acknowledged me as her son.
Okay.
I was raised by my father and his second wife. The only inheritance I received from my mother was these white hairs, likely the result of her attempt to dispose of me. Lumiel fixed his gaze upon yours, his sharp eyes unwavering. Now you know, Your Majesty, whom you are dealing with. Will you insist upon the Countess's request, knowing this? Or will you make the reasonable choice and refrain from betraying those who truly care for the good of the kingdom? Silence fell, broken only by the soft crackle of candle flames.
Okay, so that changes things entirely, because the Countess wasn't fully honest with us. Yeah, so option 1, says Lance, I'm inclined to agree. Option 1 is I did not know, Holy Father. Of course, there can be no talk of altering the terms of the agreement with the Holy See. The story is touching, but I'm afraid I must insist. No, we're just going to turn her down. Tell the Countess to go fuck herself. She's not being honest with us. She's trying to manipulate us, and she's withholding information. So we're not going to do anything that she wants, or we're not going to do everything that she wants anyway. Well, this will piss off the aristocracy, though, so we're going to end up with negative. So that means our next option, dealing with the aristocracy, we have to side with them. Unfortunately, but that's how it is. Oof, minus
The
2.
Holy Father offered you a warm smile and said, "You still have much to learn, but the kingdom is fortunate to have a new monarch. Wisdom and virtue are not lacking in you."
Ouch, so we're down to minus 2 with the aristocracy now.
The palace coup.
Uh-oh.
In recent weeks, troubling reports have been coming in from various parts of the kingdom. Many pointed to growing dissatisfaction among the aristocracy with your rule. A couple of weeks ago, your insightful steward suggested that a conspiracy might be brewing among the younger nobility. Last week, one of your agents reported secret gatherings in Lucor, where discussions about the crown's future took place. Another time, rumors reached you from remote Verador, where local village aristocrats openly voiced their discontent with your rule. Listening to these reports, you tried not to assign them too much weight. As a boy, you often heard kitchen conversations where your father's friends suggested marching on the capital. Yet those talks always ended with another drunken revel. But everything changed one fateful night. You woke to the loud clash of swords and shouts echoing through the castle corridors. Your heart raced as you realized something was terribly wrong. At that moment, you could not have known, but a group of young nobles led by a certain Lionel had infiltrated the castle using an old underground passage. One of the rebels had unearthed the castle's plans in a family archive. They made their way to the great banquet hall, but were fortunately spotted by patrolling guards. An alarm was raised. You quickly leapt from your bed, threw on a cloak, and grabbed your sword. Outside, the dead of night was illuminated by the flickering light of torches carried by the city guard, rushing to your aid. Would they make it in time? "Your Majesty, they are almost here," came the voice of one of your loyal guardsmen, Roklu, as he burst into your chambers. "The young aristocrats are trying to take over the castle." The castle's usually quiet and peaceful corridors turned into a battlefield. Dim torchlight revealed scenes of combat. Your loyal guards fought valiantly against the rebels. The air was thick with the scent of sweat and blood, and the sounds of battle. Swords clashing, the cries of the wounded, and the roar of commands filled every corner.
Okay, so you've got 3 options here, chat. Option 1, rush into the thick of the battle. Sounds like a terrible idea. Option 2, head to the sewer entrance. We must flee the castle. Option 3, we can't do because we're missing the King's Royal Guard. And option 4 is to get me out of the castle immediately, Roklu. So it seems to me it's between 2 and 4. We're not going to rush into the thick of the battle, even though that could be it could be like a red herring. It could be a trick question, and rushing into the thick of battle is actually beneficial for you. But we've got only a sword. We've only got a cloak and a sword, and apart from that, we're butt naked. I don't know why we haven't put any armor on, but we're obviously going to have to try and escape here. The question is, do we head to the sewer entrance to flee the castle, which sounds like it's where they came from, so that's probably a bad idea, or do we rely on Roklu to get us out of the castle immediately? 4 is terrible, you think? I was about to choose 4. You think 4 is too cowardly or something? Because it's relying on Roklu to get us out. I'm completely 50-50 here, guys, so we can either flip a coin, or I'm welcoming you guys can make the decision for us here. Head to the sewer entrance, or get out of the castle immediately. I think we'll flip a coin, because I think chat is occupied with stuff. So, no, game player chooses 2, head to the sewer entrance. Well, I'm willing to give it a go. Yeah, okay. Because like I said, I was 50-50 on those. And if we've got someone inclined to one of them on chat, we'll go with that and see what happens. I think 2 is a bad idea because the sewer entrance is where they're coming from. So I think it'll be guarded and they'll have reinforcements or whatever. But yeah, let's give it a go. It's only if there is a conspirator that knows about the sewers. Well, maybe, but these guys said that they came through the sewers, didn't they? Oh, it says an old underground passage, not sewers. Okay. Yeah, it says they'd infiltrated the castle using an old underground passage. Okay, let's head to the sewers. Let's see what happens.
The king's flight. You glanced around, searching for support, but the nearest corridors were hauntingly empty. The pounding of your heart echoed in your ears, and your thoughts were a chaotic mess. One thing, however, was clear. There were no guards nearby, and you could not count on the soldiers. They were all fighting the traitors, and only Tenebris knew how the battle would end. The faint light of torches illuminated the stone walls, their shadows seeming to shift like moving figures, stirring your unease. Your hands trembled as you gripped the hilt of your sword. You needed help. Names began to flash through your mind. Bardarian? He was in Aker, far too distant. Roklu? Likely battling somewhere in the courtyard. No, you needed someone who owed you their life or something of equal value. Holding your breath, you listened to the sounds of battle echoing faintly in the distance. You had to find a solution. You had to act before it was too late.
Can't we just hide somewhere, like under a bed or in a closet or something? So call for the butler. We need the ghost. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. So inappropriate option was chosen in the Ghost of Valendor Castle. I don't even remember doing that one. Inappropriate option was chosen in the gardener as a murderer. So because we incarcerated the gardener and we didn't free him, he's not around to help us now. Call for the maid. Uninvited love. We definitely haven't. Oh, wait. Yeah, uninvited love. No, wait. I don't think we've done that one. I don't remember uninvited love, but apparently we chose the inappropriate option for the maid in that one. Wail in despair. The old Valendor Cemetery. Again, we definitely haven't done that one. So I guess because we haven't done it yet, it just counts as an appropriate option. So all we can do is shout, save the king. So we're just going to get butt fucked. Why would you shout and draw attention to yourself? Surely you'd go quietly and sneak around. God damn it.
Your desperate cry for help went unanswered. Suddenly, a heavy blow struck your head, and everything went dark. And so, unceremoniously, ended the life of the last Dauphin in the line of changing kings. The kingdom descended into chaos as the throne was left without an heir once again. The people would long remember that fateful night as the one when the fatal strike of the conspirators claimed the monarch known as the misunderstood king.
Yeah, so that was it, guys. I mean, obviously we have to restart, but at least we got known as the misunderstood. That's not a bad monarchy compared to some of the other ones we've had. I'm not sure, to be honest, I'm not sure I'm going to restart. We'll click restart now, but I don't think I'm going to carry on. It's all well and good. It's a fun game, but the fact it's just so punishing. Like, you can have, in that instance, we were +2, +2, +3, and only had -2 with the aristocracy, which we literally only just got from, like, the decision previous to that event. So you can be going along in this game, everything can be fine, everything can be good, and then you just make one slightly bad decision, which you don't know is a bad decision until you've made it, because all the events are unseen and are new to you. And that can cause you to instantly get into a death spiral situation that you can't get out of, and then you have to restart. It's like, that was turn 8, and we're just back to the beginning again. And then all you do is just go through all the ones that you've already seen, skip through the story, and just pick the correct choice to get you through to the next set of events that you face blindly and trial and error get through. And it's just too much for me, to be honest. I really enjoy the storytelling. I really enjoy how wacky and funny it is. But until the developers bring out a mode where it saves at the end of each week, let's say, and gives you an autosave to rely on, I'm not going to play anymore, because it just takes too long to get into a good position, and then you lose it like that, making a random decision that you don't know will be good or bad because something random and crazy happens. So yeah, I've really enjoyed this title. It's been a lot of fun checking it out. Thank you to everyone who's watched and liked as well. Thank you to all the support that everyone's given. I am going to end the playthrough of this here now, though, until it comes out in 1.0, or they have an update where there's a save involved. Yeah, so thanks for hanging out, guys. I know it's a super short stream, but that's how it is, unfortunately. I do have lunch to get to, and I've got stuff to do before this afternoon. I am going to be back at around 5 o'clock this evening with another Battle Brothers stream for anyone interested in hanging out with that. So hopefully I'll see some of you there. If not, I'll try and catch you all in some other content I produce. I try and make content every single day now, so Sal, wait till next time. You cooked the sausage? Well done. Good work, gameplay. I hope it tastes good for you, mate. The plastic came off. Okay, cool. No worries. Lance, I'll catch you later, mate. Gameplay, see you. Thank you for the support. Good luck with the sausage. I hope it tastes well. And yeah, Salway everyone till next time.